Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Ace and I got more TF2 commentary, playing as a Pyro, rocking of course the Greaser flare gun, which actually is my weapon that I'm forced to use to actually be able to kill people with in this match, because of my melee weapon, which is the Neon Annihilator. This has been recorded on the Reddit Europe server, so if you have seen yourself or seen me playing on the Reddit Europe server, you may have been recorded yourself as well. Nonetheless, the reason why I am forced to use the flare gun as a the main killing tool in a map where the extinguisher is actually quite powerful, because the way this map is built, a lot of close quarter combat, is because the Neon Annihilator is bad. And that's what this video will be about. I will be going a little bit more in depth about the Neon Annihilator and why I think what I think. And just to freshen up your memory, the Neon Annihilator is basically a commercial electronic board which you can use to smack people with. It does 100% critical hit versus wet players, has a 20% damage penalty on people that are not wet, and has no random critical hits, because we all know that no random critical hits evens out every single weapon. No, it doesn't. Nonetheless, I am of course also noticing that a lot of people are wondering if you can actually get it genuine for some reason, or just the general promo items if you buy the bundle in the store. No, you can't. You have to actually pre-order, to my knowledge, to get these weapons genuine. And it's of course the Sleeping Dogs game that has come out, or is being able to pre-order recently, and this is why these promo items are in the game. So you can check that out if you like. I don't personally enjoy that game. Nonetheless, that is not what this video will be about. Starting off, of course, with something I forgot to state in my Triad video, which is the fact that you could actually do crit if people are covered in Mad Milk and Girardi. I forgot to mention this in my Triad video, and a lot of people started to freak the hell out about it. I did add some annotations directly at the beginning of the video, but apparently people don't read annotations, so they still bash me about it. Nonetheless, I've said it now in the video, you can in fact crit people with Mad Milk and Girardi as well, but this does not make the fact, or this does not change the fact, that this weapon is the worst Pyro melee weapon in the game, if not the worst melee weapon available ever. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, don't quote me on that. I think there's actually a potential worse weapon for another class, but definitely the worst Pyro weapon ever made. And I will be telling you why that is, because I think that most people will agree, and most decent TF2 players will agree with me, or even better, if they have a quarter of a brain or more, that this weapon is just bloody awful. You cannot justify it. You can only justify the use of this weapon if you are fighting a Pyro on your own that is covered in either water, Girardi, or Mad Milk, and you can actually hit them in the melee without them air blasting you. That's the only situation where the Neon Annihilator is a straight upgrade. If that's not the case, then, and you're still using it, I don't even want to look at you. You embarrass me. Because, let's start at the beginning. Water. This weapon is of course built with the philosophy in mind that people will jump in water to get rid of the flames, then you can hammer them with the Neon Annihilator for the additional crits, right? That's the philosophy. Alright, so let's just take into consideration that maps actually have some water for some reason. A lot of maps don't have water, and even if they do, they barely have any water, and even if they do have a lot of water, these ponds or lakes, they usually have an escape route, which means you actually have to chase them down. If you have to chase people down with the Neon Annihilator, you are going to have a bad time, especially if you are running a loadout like me, a flamethrower flare gun, because you can't really rely on that underwater because they don't work. If you're using a shotgun, then you can already use that specific weapon to kill them before you can even get close enough. And even if you don't use the shotgun and you can't use anything else underwater with effect besides the Neon Annihilator, then you have to chase them down while they can shoot at you and potentially kill you. Probably kill you if they are somewhat decent. Maybe through bullets or rockets or whatever, right? So chasing, very dangerous business if you don't have a shotgun. And if you have a shotgun, you're not gonna use the Neon Annihilator to chase them down. You're going to use the shotgun. Alright, so you can also stand on the ledge to wait for them to come out. First of all, then you have to directly be at the right position for them to come out. If you wait too long, then well, they will not be wet anymore. And if they actually get out of the water, you can already start igniting them again and get the crit with the extinguisher, which is actually more damage than the Neon Annihilator. And you can also directly air blast them out of the water again to make sure they don't get back into the water when you ignite them. So that situation of the only reason why you can use the Neon Annihilator properly is, like I said, if it's a Pyro, because you can't ignite Pyro and crits and get an extinguisher crit on them unless you are very quick, the server is lagging, or you are working with a different Pyro. But that usually doesn't happen too often anyway. So there is that. That's the only situation where I'm justifiable, where it's justifiable. But does that really happen enough to say the extinguisher is better? Even if they are covered in Gerardi or Mad Milk, the extinguisher is still better. Because it takes no effort whatsoever to ignite, air blast, switch to your melee weapon and hit. Because the switching to your melee weapon and the fact that you have to air blast is something you're going to have to do regardless of your melee weapon if you want to have a secure kill. So the igniting is barely a click. Like, it's barely less than one effort, if that's a measurement you can actually justifiable use in this situation. So you are sacrificing significant amounts of damage just so you can have the potential of killing a Pyro that is wet, that is not air blasting you a little bit easier. But you can also just use a shotgun and get it over with. Like, this weapon is so outrageously useless unless you are in some kind of underwater level that I don't even understand why this weapon is actually made and put in a game like this. I just don't get it. But that's Valve. I don't get Valve 9 out of 10 times. But that's just how it is. Because igniting a person, if you are using the degreaser that is, and any smart Pyro is using the degreaser if they have some form of skill, I suppose I should say. I don't want to say that too loud because it tends to bite in my back or my behind, if you like. But if you use the degreaser, because I personally find the degreaser to be the best weapon for the Pyro as a primary, because it allows you to switch a lot faster. And because of this, the little less of a second that you have to take to ignite a person to get the extinguisher crit or the postal pummeler crit, because that's the reskin of the extinguisher, of course, takes no effort at all, and it does more damage. It's more reliable, and you can use that significantly more than the Neon Annihilator, because if you have to compare the opportunities of people being wet to the opportunities where you can do your little extinguisher combo of ignite, air blast, hit him with the melee weapon successfully, especially on a map like this with so many close quarters, and no water actually, there's no water whatsoever in this map. You can definitely tell that this weapon, the Neon Annihilator, is just useless, and I struggle as a Pyro to get these amazing combination kills. Also, this was very frustrating to see that sniper right there. Look at that. Oh, that record I almost broke, but I didn't break it because I wasn't able to do enough damage because I was using the Neon Annihilator. Very frustrating when things like that happen, when those happen, but they do. Nonetheless, I'm not gonna sit still and moan about it because I'm moaning about this bloody Neon Annihilator. I just don't get it why this weapon is actually in the game. Like, and I've seen people trying to defend the weapon, but like I've stated, like if you look at all the examples I've stated, you can't justify to only use the Neon Annihilator, even if they are wet. The only way you can actually use it properly and where it's better is underwater or on a Pyro that is wet, that it doesn't understand the philosophy of air blasting, which is surprisingly a lot, but we're just gonna ignore that fact. And also notifications are very frustrating. Even if I have turned all notifications off, I still get a lot of notifications. They really have to work on that. I should send a message or something. Not that it really changes anything, but very frustrating regardless, especially when you're just randomly recording. So let me know what you guys think about the Neon Annihilator. Do you really think you can justify this weapon besides using it on a Pyro that doesn't know how to air blast when he's wet? Because in any other situation, you can use the extinguisher to a greater success, I find. And I am not the greatest player, absolutely not, but I definitely think that I'm somewhat of a decent player, especially when I'm warmed up as a Pyro. And you guys have seen a lot of videos, so I think I have established that I am able to be quite decent at times. So I don't know, maybe I'm just silly, but those are my 2 cents. So let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you guys next time. And make sure to subscribe and check out the annotations at the end of this video in my outro. I will catch you guys next time. Take care.